Hello and welcome back to the Hindu Women's Festival 2021. My name is Simran Solanki and I'm 14 years old, and I'm joined here by Dr. Vidulaji Ambekar, who is the General Secretary of Hindu Sevika Samiti, and we're going to be discussing why does she. So over the years, women's roles have developed and changed, and Vidulaji has seen that through society as well as her own life. So throughout your life journey, could you share 3 key moments that would benefit me or my generation?
Very nice. The first key moment, I'm saying it now. I'm saying that the younger generation in this country is taking my interview. That is very inspiring moment for me, Simi. Really inspiring. That means you want to join with me. You want to connect with me. That really inspires me. That is the first moment I would put it. The second, from my childhood, I would like to say, I was living with my grandparents, and at that time there was one lady who was on the street, came down and she said, "Can you give me something? I'm very hungry." And immediately I went into the kitchen, took the thali, put everything in the thali and told her, "Come inside, sit down here, eat." But is that the very, my grandparents didn't get angry with me at that time. They didn't get angry. They told me, "Very nice, Vidula, you have got that seva vritti. You should look after everybody who is needy." And that was very, very inspiring, touching moment and learning moment for me. And I think this is also for you too. Whenever you do any good work, I'm sure your parents give you clap and they say, "Well done, Simi. Well done." So you are doing very well. The second key moment, when I was in college, I was 18-year-old, and as you know, the teenagers, I had the scooter. I wanted to go on the scooter, but I didn't know how to repair it. And it failed on the way somewhere in the long, far away from my house. And I was then really worried what is going to happen. That heavy scooter, to take it just by walking. It is not like bike that you can take it, walk it and take it. It is very heavy. But one rickshaw fellow, he helped me there to start that scooter. And as 18-year-old, I was immediately wanted to pay him back something. And I said to him, "See, my father is policeman, and he will help you if you need it." Without thinking, I gave this word on behalf of my parents, on behalf of my father. I didn't realize what difficulties my father will have. And one day he came for a small reason. My dad helped him. It was 3 months afterwards, because he had the phone number. He rang my dad and came to my house. But my dad then told me off. He said, if he would have done something very bad and wanted me to save him, that means I have to get away from my duties. As a police, he should be strict, he should be honest, he should not take any bribe. All these things came up, and I learned at that stage. So when you promise somebody at early age, think twice. Think twice when you promise something. That was second moment. The third moment, it is very difficult to remember, but I feel the third moment was when my granddad, he was a judge in the court, in the high court. And he was supposed to give, I was very young at that time, very young, younger than you as well, I think. It is the memory, 7, 8 years old I was. And our house was like stairs coming from one side, stairs going from the other side. So from kitchen stairs going up and the other stairs going down to lounge. And the office was at the top. My granddad's office was at the top. And 3-4 people came to my granddad. They came with a big bag, and I was in that office. It happened that I was there in that office with my granddad. And those 3 people threw away all the notes, bundles of notes. And they said, tomorrow you are going to give the punishment to this man. Can you reduce that punishment? This is the money for you. I was just looking at that money. And I didn't know. I had no attraction of money because I used to get whatever I wanted. But when I saw that so many bundles of money in front of my granddad, I was just waiting what my granddad says. My granddad says, because that man has committed murder and he was going to give the hanging punishment. That I came to know later. My granddad said, take all this money. After I give the result, then you come back and give me whatever you want. And he gave the punishment of hanging. So I realized these are the temptations when you are at the highest post. To take the bribe, become rich in one day. But that becoming rich in one day can be very harmful. And I understand that avoid all the temptations. In youngsters' life, different temptations are there. These are 3 moments in my life.
Thank you. That was really inspiring. And there's some really good moments there. And over your life, you've done a lot of seva and volunteering work. So how has that shaped your life?
As I said in the previous incidents, I did mention, I didn't feel that I was doing seva of that lady who was coming to me, who was hungry. It came from within. And I was not expecting anything from her. So without expectation, if you feel for somebody, you do it. And that shaped my life really. And nobody reprimanded me because I did something like that. Somebody from the beggar outside comes, I'm taking the thali from the house, I'm taking all the food for and giving. She also stayed at our home, but nobody reprimanded me. And that had shaped my life. That doing some good for the others is not a bad thing. That is the first thing. The second thing, volunteering shape. I think when I go to Shakha and Samiti, I enjoy doing that one. If you do enjoy something, you don't expect something. When you are doing something, you don't expect. So when I just go to Bal Gokulam, when I tell the story, I enjoy telling the story. If children love, they come and hug me. I enjoy that hug. Simple hug, simple happiness on their face. And that shapes my life. Third thing I see, when I see many people in Sangha particularly, there are pracharaks. They are the most hardworking people. They are the biggest volunteers. But they never go and sit on the dais, on the stage. They are never on the stage. They are at the background. So they are not expecting any post. So when you go to Bal Gokulam, you are not doing it for becoming Mukhya Shikshika. I want to be aggressor. As children, you want to be aggressor, you start fighting, isn't it? But keep that thing in the mind. Yes, in the childhood you do feel, but if you inculcate that thing in the children, They will not do it for the post. They will do it because they enjoy playing, they enjoy going there. So that shapes volunteering, that shapes the life.
Thank you. And obviously, over the years, you've gone from being a girl to being married to becoming a grandmother. And obviously, marriages have happened, and I see a lot of marriages happening around me too. So, why is it so important for me or my generation to get married?
What is marriage? It is commitment. I want you to get married now to study. I don't want to get married to a boy now. So this is the commitment you are taking. So when you become marriageable age, if you want to marry, you have to take that commitment and then get married. And when I say get married to a boy, you can not necessarily get married means wed and go to somebody's house. I'm not of that generation. I'm not like that. If you want to do some good work, marry to that principle, to that good work forever for your life. But just to enjoy. I like gulab jamun, that's why I eat gulab jamun. That's it. No. I want to be here telling you at your age, I want to have a enjoyment with a boy. That's why I'm going. And that's why I want to go out with him or marry for him. That is not the way. That is not the way. When you want, when you are ready, when you are committed, yes, then get married. But that commitment can be for the marital life, as well as for the principle as well. I want to get married. My children, I wanted to get them married for the commitment, but they married a boy and girl. Isn't it? You know them. You know them. But once they take the commitment, they should fulfill, because there are many ups and downs in that commitment, and that you should be ready to take it. Then you should marry. That is why. And another thing, it is a natural. As you feel, I want to eat gulab jamun. I'm hungry. I want food. I want to play now. I want to see the TV. These are the desires. So that is one of the natural desire of anybody, anyone. To suppress natural desire causes suffocation, And to avoid that suffocation, one should get married. But when you get married, there are many enjoyments as well to become a mother. You see your mom loves you so much, your parents love you so much. They enjoy seeing you growing up. And that you will realize when you get married, when you get mother, when you enjoy that one. And that's why I want you to get married to a commitment for a cause.
Thank you. And you mentioned how the enjoyment of a mother and obviously having kids. And so you as a grandmother now, what value do you see in us grandchildren bonding with our grandparents, and how important do you think it is?
The simple, innocent smile on the grandchildren's face. That is fantastic. And that I see that it is the unconditional love the grandchildren and grandparents, they have with each other. That is very attractive. That is very attractive. I don't expect now anything from my grandchildren. I don't expect anything from you, Simi. But if you just come and give me a good hug, that is more than enough. It is the benefit for my heart. It is the medicine for my heart. I feel, yes, why the younger generation is also coming nearer to me. They are not saying ye budhi nazdeek aa rahi hai. That makes me feel better. And when they come nearer without any expectation, that I like it. And younger generation, I feel what I love in this younger generation, inquisitiveness, straightforwardness. Straightforwardness, I love it. And because you are in this country, you have inculcated some of the good values from this country, like discipline. I will cross the road in between anywhere, but you will not. I like that one. You will go to the wherever there are lights to pedestrian crossing, and you will go there. And I learned that one from you. That discipline I learned from you. And that this is of particularly of this country, that discipline I learn it from you. Time maintaining, I learn it from you. You came exactly at 6 o'clock. I like that. Today's recording.
Thank you. And obviously now we've covered your childhood memories, your being married, and your grandchildren. So there's obviously a lot of responsibilities that come along with as life progresses. So what skill do you think is really important or key for girls and women to be able to multitask successfully?
What skills? When I say when girl has to be multitasking, I feel both girl and boy should be multitasking. Both should be multitasking. And multitasking is increasing your skills. Increasing your skills. When you are saying multitasking, when you go for backpacking, there are many girls nowadays want to go backpacking and do the paryatan. They want to travel everywhere, isn't it? That is multitasking again. That is multitasking because they want to go and do many things on their own. It is giving them chance to do that one. That is one thing. And I don't want you to struggle in your future. I don't want my grandchildren to struggle in future, because today your parents are giving whatever you want, immediately you get it. But today's day might not remain tomorrow. Tomorrow's is not day after. And it is a bit difficult for you to understand that one. But I, after having that much experience, how you go ups and downs, you get many more, you get very easily many things, and you don't get many things sometimes. But to cope up at that time is the multitasking. That is where multitasking is important. One important thing for the girl as well as boy, when you are going to go to university now, I want you to be healthy. I want you to eat healthy food. Definitely, takeaway is not healthy food. So you should know how to cook. Similarly, a boy should know, because I don't want my grandson as well to be unhealthy. Do I? So I want to learn him cooking. I want you to learn how to stitch if anything is torn, how to stitch immediately and use it. Because your parents are providing you money, you can go and buy another cloth. But you should be able to do economize as well, and learn at this stage how you can economize and save the money for your rainy days. That also I want you to do in multitasking. There are many other things which you can do in multitasking.
Thank you. And as you mentioned about multitasking and how boys and girls should have equal responsibilities, they should both know the same skills. So when you have a family, it always falls to a woman to bond the family together. Shouldn't it be equal for both parents?
Of course, of course. It has to be equal. But again, multitask. As one person, I might be good in driving the car. And my husband might be good in banking. Let him do banking. I will take him to the bank, or vice versa. Shouldn't it be complementary rather than saying that everybody should do everything? It should be complementary, because I don't take here as a man and woman. There are some women, they are much more cleverer than the man. Let them do that one. Why that man should feel below dignity? Okay, she's helping me. Similarly, the woman also should not take insult if the man is helping or man is doing certain job. So it should be complementary rather than saying that if I do this one, if I change nappy, you should change nappy of my baby. If I drive, you drive. If I earn, you earn. Or if you are earning, I'm earning. Okay, one can earn, one can do some cooking. It doesn't matter who is doing that one. I can tell you, in my house, my father, it is the generation before I'm talking. Even my granddad, they used to comb our hair. When my grandmother was very busy in cooking, they used to comb my hair, put the plait, make me ready. They used to do it once, and they never felt that it was not the man's job. They never felt, they were complimentary. Sometimes my granddad used to do sitting down and make cup of tea, put the rice on the cooker. He has done it. So I have seen that one. So I feel it is not any one sex job description really, but one has to remember, naturally some jobs women are better in doing it. If you are better, you want to do something better for your family, or you want to do worse for your family. Better, naturally better for your family. So the one who does the particular job better should do that job better, should do that job. That should be the distribution.
Thank you. And so one story in your life which you think's related to the question we're discussing, why does she? So do you have one brief story that was quite significant to your life specifically that you'd like to share?
Sorry, it is the 7th question you are asking, isn't it?
Yes. So when you were taking your
why they have
exam,
to take in the career?
Yeah.
Why do you think that woman takes a back seat? I would say the other way around. Woman takes 4th seat, front seat when she becomes mom. That is the what is career? Career means having the experience everywhere. Everywhere. I was talking about backpacking. At that time, you take a break. Girls take break, don't they? I want to take the break. I want to go for backpacking on my own with my friends. Is it not a break in the career or break in their learning? That time they don't feel that they are taking break in the career. But when it comes to looking after child, that is the experience they are getting. And to tell you frankly, what experience the woman gets how to upbring the child, that is much more valuable than doing the job in the office. That is much more valuable. Man cannot get that experience of upbringing a child. How a child, what is the first step of my baby? What is the first step? That enjoyment, she gets it. When the baby starts speaking first, she gets that enjoyment. And that experience, how to look after a child. You can open up a nursery. That becomes a career. That becomes a career. I have one example. I was in Desford practicing, and there was one lawyer, very good lawyer, well practicing lawyer. It was a fantastic practice she had. But when she became pregnant, she started nursery, left the job. She started the nursery. And after starting the nursery, she left the job, she left the career and continued as a nursery manager. And now her nursery is with 20, 30, 40 children. And she just looks after them. Is it not a career? Why career has to be what you have chosen it? You can choose many more careers. Cooking is a career. Chef is a career. Nursery is a career. Not only becoming a doctor is a career.
Yeah. And one story in your life that was quite significant was when you were taking your medical exams, but before you entered, you were rejected and told you weren't allowed to enter. So can you please share that experience just briefly and how that shaped your work to younger generations?
As a role, it is a bit difficult question, isn't it? Role of woman through generations changes. I don't think that there is any role which was even in the past banned for me. I don't think. This is a misnomer, particularly for us, at least for me. It was open for me. It was open for me. If I wanted to be police, because my father was in the police force, he said, okay, you can become police. You can become police. If I said, no, I just want to be a housewife, he said, okay. So there was no ban. Actually, I wanted to be the parachute dropper, the parachute jumper. And I have done some of these things. In childhood also, I used to do all these boyish games. And nobody stopped me. Nobody stopped me. Nobody stopped me. And I have seen many other of my friends who are doing that type of job. They are doing that type of job. So it is, I think it is a misnomer that women cannot take today's girls, whatever they are doing, even in the past they have done it. But yes, I agree that traditionally woman was more in the house. More in the house because it naturally suited most of the women. Some of them were definitely, even if they didn't want it, they had to do it. But I think we have to be open for that. And nowadays, you have got that open field. Enjoy that field. Enjoy that field. You have got open, and I feel you should not restrict your career just because you are a girl. Just because you are a girl. But be ready as a girl. You will face more problems, even in the Western world. Even in the Western world. So be ready for all those obstacles. And that many of the women, many of the people from the family, they used to say that don't take such certain careers which are difficult for women to take it. And that's why they were advising them, sometimes restricting them even if they wanted it. But be prepared. As for your generation, be prepared. That's what I feel.
Thank you.
I
And
hope I have answered your questions which you wanted it.
thank you. And we've had a lot of many types of advice from you for different topics, different aspects of this topic. So, can you give one last final piece of advice that you think would summarize this topic of why does she? So, why a woman does certain things, why she's loyal to her family and her commitments. What's one final piece of advice you would give to my new up and coming generation?
To have happiness of life throughout the life, you have to be the committed person, be committed to certain aim, have some aim, attain something in that particular commitment, work for that, hard working, take away all the laziness, and be ready for any obstacles and face it with face it bravely. You will win it.
Thank you. So, thank you so much for that inspiring and motivating advice. This advice is definitely helpful for myself and my new and upcoming generation. So, that concludes this segment of Why Does She with myself, Simran Solanki, and Dr. Vidulaji Ambekar. We hope you enjoyed the other sessions of the Hindu Women's Festival 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much for asking me for coming for this interview. Dhanyavad.